Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we are doing a book review. We are reviewing Hearts Held by Barbed Wire by D.E. Dietz. Apologize if I spelled that wrong, or not spelled, pronounced that wrong. First we're going to go over my general thoughts before we go into the spoilers, and the spoilers basically are just my notes that I made throughout the reading of it. So first and foremost, her writing style is very unique. It took me a while to get used to it from what I'm used to reading. I'm used to reading sci-fi and fantasy books, so this was a little bit out of my genre. But after getting used to her writing, I started to really enjoy the story. The overall story I really enjoy. It is very well written, and it kept me very engaged with what was happening on every page. I didn't really like the first half of the story, and I'll get into details on the spoiler side of that. But the second half really was very good. The ending kind of confused me a little bit, but regardless, I do recommend this to people who like Peaky Blinders and a little bit of smut. Peaky Blinders is a good show. I never really watched all the way through, but that time frame and example really helped me get into the world of Hearts Held by Barbed Wire. So I do recommend it for any of those who are in there. I give it a 4 out of 5, mainly because it's not my type of genre, and the first half really kind of threw me off. Not really sure how I felt about it, but like I said, not my genre. But I still liked it. Please check it out. Go over her stuff. Links to her social will be in the details below. Now moving on to spoilers. I'm just gonna read off what I wrote as I kept reading. So I wrote the two main character actions seem fast, and they met once and then a second time. Third time, he is immediately moving for her. So I did read this over the course of like 4 weeks, I think. I read a few books in between because I got tired to read some of those other books. So the statement might be a little bit confusing to myself even, but I think it's leaning off how infatuated the main character Everett got with Brielle. Is that how I'm saying it right? That's how I say it in my head, anyways. So that's how I'm gonna say it around. Like just instantly, just like took on to her and just wanted her. There's a part in the beginning half, first quarter, I think, where the female main character, Brielle, is called Mrs. Afton in the massage parlor, and she isn't fazed by it, which I thought was very weird that she wasn't fazed by it at all. Maybe it was on purpose, maybe it was just a mistake in the writing. But that was one thing I noticed which threw me off. Or I third read it. I read it over again to make sure I wasn't reading it right. And then this is later on in the writing, because I don't think I wrote anything for a long while, but I guess I'll go over the first half of the book. It was very stalkerish, in my opinion. Now, I know there was a warning? A warning? Is that what it's called? Is it in here? Or, author notes? Yeah, it was in the author notes. But I don't know, it felt very stalkerish to me, because Everett would watch her through a wall that, what's it called? Double mirrored? One-way mirror? Where he could watch her in the townhome that he got her. Which is never brought up, so she never finds that out. Huh. Regardless. First half felt very stalkerish. Second half, they were leaning into each other much more, and it felt less stalkerish and more romantic at that point. And then there was a part where Dr. Brennan entered into the story. And like I said, I did take a break from reading it, so I don't know if Dr. Brennan, I can't remember if he was in the first half of the story. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it's about a little before halfway through where Dr. Brennan gets into the story. But anywhere before that, I don't recall seeing him or hearing him. Maybe he wasn't that important, that's why. But that was a concern in the book I had. He just kind of appeared out of nowhere, from what I remember. Like I said, first half of the book was read a couple weeks before I finished it. Next thing I wrote, what did I write? I don't know if it's because we were in Everett's point of view, but I didn't realize Dr. Brendan was dead until Everett called her murderess. All she did after checking the pulse was go to her room and cover her face with her hands. So, from Everett's perspective, he falls down the stairs. Brielle, being a nurse, goes and checks and immediately goes to her room, covers her face. And it wasn't until Everett entered the house and called her a murderous raven, crow, that I was like, oh, he actually died. But I didn't think that by her just going in there, putting her hands on thing. I felt like there was not, I don't know if there was enough emotion for me to tell that she thought she killed him. And then my next comment is, this is my thought. Wait, so Dr. Brendan isn't dead? And the experienced nurse couldn't tell if he was dead or not? Because she checked his pulse and then assumed he was dead. I feel like being a nurse, especially during a war, would be able to tell a little bit better if he was dead or not. That's just my 2 cents. But not my story. Not my story, not my monkeys. Anyways, the slow burn is very worth it in the end. The 2 smut parts, the 2 smut parts are very well written, and lets the reader feel, what's the word? Joyous? Satisfied? When the smut part, the romance scene, whatever, the smut parts actually happen in the book. They're very well written. I enjoyed them. And then moving on, I was actually surprised it was the mom who was murdering the girls. That I was surprised because I'm 100% she added. What was his name? The guy who tried to take Brielle for himself at the party. I forgot his name. He wasn't that important. He was an asshole anyways. Excuse my language, but he was. Giorgio? Yeah, Giorgio. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. But I think the author threw him in there to distract us and not connect any other dots, if there were any. I don't know. I may have to reread it. To the mom. To Everett's mom, who was murdering the girls. It also solidified Brielle and Everett's connection with each other. So I think that's why Giorgio, I already forgot his name. Giorgio, I'm sorry, was introduced into the story. That, and to divert us thinking he's probably the one murdering the girls, because from what people were saying, he does that kind of stuff. Or gets super close to it anyways. My last comment here is Brielle was a German trying to break the mobs up. Interesting. Now, like I said, the first half of the story I read a while ago, so I may not remember everything. And the reveal of Brielle being a German was very... Like, I read it, and I had to read it a few more times. I was like, what? It wasn't, I don't want to say shocking, because, I didn't think she was a German, but it didn't surprise me. I'm not sure how to put that, but it was an interesting little twist, though, that's for sure. And the fact that Everett was able to push past it and still go be with her, that was another interesting, nice thing, I think. Everett had to push past his own demons about the Germans to go and be with her. Those are all the notes I had in my phone while I was reading. Like I said, I did enjoy the book. I enjoyed the overall story. There are a few things I didn't like about it, but it is what it is. Not every book's going to be perfect. There are going to be things that don't make sense, but it all depends on the reader as well. So yes, please go check out her books. It's the first one I've read of hers. I may read the others. I may not. I'm going to tell my wife to read this, though. I think she'll like it. She liked Peaky Blinders. And anybody else who's into Peaky Blinders, it's mine. Go check it out. Other than that, please like and subscribe. The author's socials will be in them below as well. And we'll catch you next time. Deuces.